Alright, so this is Habit versus NHS Millers on Inferno. I'm gonna check that. I'm coming through fine. Cool, I am. We don't really have to watch knife round. Got him. See this sick knife strat. Oh. Alright. Let's go do this shit. Okay, so you got CT side. Solid. I want to see your CT side setup here. And whether or not you have a kit. I'm assuming that you run like nade kit. Usually on Inferno opening CT, I do like nade kit on one of the B players. And depending on whether you want to, you could do like a smoke flashes or smoke kit on another player. So the T's are coming up alt. It doesn't look like you have anyone forward enough to hear them early, but that's okay. Because you guys are playing like a really like standard setup towards A. At this point, Collide and Leviathan should know that there's no one stacked top mid, or top banana, so you're already hitting back. I like that. Nice. Nice. So at this point, Leviathan can definitely smoke off this pit condition or the site condition at once. He could also have smoked Moto from top mid and then come into the site. He's got the kit. He doesn't, you know, he's probably not going to end up going for a ninja, especially on a pistol round. They can push you out. Just something to think about. So I think the pistol round ultimately did come down to quick duels. What the hell? Shouldn't actually rewind to the pistol. Okay, there we go. So to some degree, that pistol round did come down to duels. And we're going to talk about duels in a second. But right now, I want to look at what's happening on the hit. So right now, you have foul in your moto, in like your moto angle. And this moto angle, when you've already moved back to a position, when you've already fallen back to a position where you're setting up crossfires here, this moto angle is really ultimately going to be the second person to take contact if they don't come archway, right? Like if they come archway, then Leviathan will be the first person to take contact. The guy who rotated, by the way, from B after you guys discovered that there was no one like holding and waiting banana. Collide pushes down, which is good. I want to see if this still works. Yeah, it does. So shift, by the way, if you're reviewing your own demo, it takes Collide 14 seconds if he's running, straight running, to get there. It'll take almost double that if he walks the whole way. So Foul in his position here is kind of doing what he's supposed to do. He's really supposed to either be completing these kills or setting ultimate up to complete these kills. And at the same time, Sensei, here it is. Sensei should be helping. Like right now, this specific kill, jumping out of window, is really about Sensei and Foul connecting. But Foul, sorry, what the fuck? Sorry, the UI's bugged. Foul is in a position where he should be able to. Foul is in a position here where he should be able to dodge back and forth. He doesn't have to complete those kills. That, you know, this round is not on him. It wasn't his fault. But if we go back and we look at where Sensei and Ultimate are, and I'm gonna slow this down so I can just play with this for a little bit. If we look at where Sensei and Ultimate are, Sensei should be able to bait these guys into come fight him, and Ultimate is going to either complete these kills as they come across, or he's going to draw this attention, and then Sensei's going to complete this kill. So as this guy jumping out of window is coming down, this is a kill that Foul tags, and Sensei completes. Or at least that's really what it should be ultimately. And then Sensei can choose to swing left or right to set Ultimate up to complete kills that are coming towards him. Once Sensei exposes himself, these guys coming up porch side are going to be all about him, and they're ready to get shot in the side here, or possibly in the back from Foul at Moto. When you're on this angle, Foul, if you're pressed up against this wall, you're isolated from balcony, right? You can obviously move closer, like you can move up into this angle and be a little bit isolated from the cart, from like back of truck. It used to be truck. And you can also still support Viathan on that smoke coverage in ultimate to protect our side. Why am I saying alt mid? Sorry. All right. So your anti-eco setup. I like the nade stack. I don't know where you're sending it, but you can do 2 and 2, or you can do all of them in one spot. We'll see in a sec. I like that you're still willing to send one to B. And your nades come straight down mid. No, they didn't happen to come this way at all. It's just one thing to consider. What the fuck is that guy doing? Ultimately, that's just unlucky. I don't know if Sensei actually heard this guy make apartment or not, because I had my volume turned down a little bit. But it's all good. Alright, so Eco part 2. Let's see where they're going. Okay, so they actually do take banana control fast, and they die to it. So now at this point, they've basically cleared out every angle. And if you go back, it looks like they sent 1, and then they had 1, 2, 3, and that 3 guy is the guy who died, and then they had their late player clean up. I don't know if they know that Viathan's a B player, but they could have known just from the fact that he was alive last episode, so they just automatically go to A. But that doesn't necessarily mean everything. Alright, so this is probably the most important round in the first half right now. First of all, let's slow this down real quick. I want to see what your peak is like on B, and then we might actually in fact rewind here. Okay. So you go for no active peak, you go for the late passive peak. Just be careful about this timing. Like, if you're going to do this peak after the boost, I think Viathan is basically doing nothing right now, and there's almost no reason not to put a flash up really high in the air that allows Collide to peak, scope and peak right afterwards. Alright, so nothing's happening here. We're going to go over to... I misclicked the number twice. Okay, I'm going to go over to Sensei, and I want to see what's happening on this contact play. I like the resmoke from the other angle, but Foul shouldn't have had... I think Foul... I don't know if I saw that correctly. Foul shouldn't be swapping out to a rifle while away from his rifle while someone else is swapping away from their rifle. There was a second there where one of you guys could have gotten split on. Big cancel flash. I like that Sensei still has his gun up. That's good. And Foul's calling that he's dropping back to Moto side. And Sensei drops back at the same time. It's good. So now, at this point, you guys know that they have brackets control. I like this crossfire that Ultimate and Sensei have. I don't like that the solo Moto guy dropped off solo. Like, in this situation, I actually would have gone... In that situation, I actually would have gone back into library, because you know that you have one coming arch. That happens sometimes, you get swarmed. Bomb has been At this point, Ultimate should know that this guy's running away. Because Collide should have called it. This guy gave him instant footsteps right after, but no worries. Yeah, you got it. Good job. Nice round. I'm not going to worry about the retake. I'm more going to worry about the setups. I'm going to focus on the setups right here. Because this setups are the kind of thing that you can take into every map. So second gun round, you just won the break round. That prevents them from fucking you. It's a good early molly to get control. And I understand that that's your smoke. Interesting. It's a great flash play. I like it. Good job. You should be doing stuff like that basically every round on B, or at least threatening it every round on B. So now I've missed some stuff on in apartment. I just wanted to see your proper like aggro setup and banana, because the previous gun round you guys didn't go aggro on banana. You just went with the uphold. I should Roosie run real quick. So Foul's the mid protect, and Alt and Sensei 3 and 5. Okay. Pretty sure that last step from Ultimate was audible, but it's okay. That's a good instant kill right there. You guys are taking your B control. I like that Sensei gets away from the trade and he's more aware of everything else going on. In spite of dying there, that was still a great play, Sensei. You let your teammate, you trusted your teammate to take care of your back, and you moved into a position where you can control more of the map. Foul's position is good, but he should be noting to the teammates that Arch is open, so that Collide can't get double peeked. And in fact, even from this position, I like this angle a little bit more personally, but it's really up to you. The only problem with this angle is that you really can only drift away to the right side, and once you do drift away to the right side, you can still be killed. So, whereas like if you're using this sandwich, this like double angle, right? You can come back to the left and then use this column now to isolate against the first player who comes through the hole, if they try to double push you. Nice aim. And so Foul knows that they've gone through, or should have known that they had pushed Arch. I mean, I heard it on my own thingamajig with half sound, but all I'm saying is that Vithan didn't need to die. You were gonna win the round of time anyway. Oh shit! I wasn't expecting my bad. Good pick. Nice job. So Sensei should actually, or sorry, Ultimate should actually be baiting harder, because Foul knows that he can get wrapped, and he's already put people into library. So Foul is in a position here to take all the attention. I like that you know you've got bomb down, and you're both playing confidently into your own positions. That's smart. Yep. So every time you hear that glass pop in the beginning of the round, by the way, you know that someone's alt mid. That's the only place they can pop that glass from. It's the only glass available on that side of the map. In fact, it may be the only glass available on the map. Remember. Oh, and if you've been looking at their money, especially from previous round, you should know that they're broken. So this is a good round to play like a one-off setup, like an anti-eco setup. Nice shot to get two. Nice shot to crossfire there. It's perfect. Sensei was in that swing position, and Foul was in the kill completion position.
Counter-terrorists win.
I misclicked on the swap to back to Sensei. Okay. So that round was a perfect example. Once they're down in pit, Sensei drawing the aggro, Sensei draws the aggro, Foul completes the kills. Similarly, Ultimate was drawing the aggro by being in pit, and Sensei was able to shoot people in the back if he had needed to. They jumped out fast and Ultimate double killed, but you know. Alright. See that you like swapped out positions a little bit, putting Ultimate into banana. I wonder why you guys did that. Maybe it's because specifically you wanted to take banana control. But one thing that I've noticed is that these guys really don't go banana a lot, which I don't mind. Like it's fine to take that control because now you're threatening. Now you're threatening, which is solid. All right. Now you guys know that the hit's coming in. Foul goes back to his library or metal position, correct? But he is letting these guys. Good job. And when I say letting, what I mean is it's just happening. All right, so we do need to rewind here and see what happened to Leviathan. Because once you get that deep banana position, I actually think it's better to have a little bit of presence. You're gonna watch this again. Have a little bit of presence, assert yourself, and then do nothing. Alright, so how do you actually get it? Fire early. You follow it with the smoke? You should be following this with the smoke. And you can throw this smoke from safety. So there's a smoke that lands right here, and you definitely don't need to be fully exposed here. And if they were trying to go at all for any banana control, you guys would have died to it and should have died to it. Like this should be fully punishable by T's, simply on timing. Like they could have had 3 rifles here, killing you really quickly. I understand that you know that they're not taking control, but you should also know that they're going to be playing this position. There's almost no reason not to play this position. So I wanted to rewind specifically because the way that you guys threw the smoke and the way that you guys have played leads them to believe that you're going to get aggressive here anyway. So this is basically all a fake to bait out this banana push. Everything they're doing in mid is literally to bait out the banana push. The reason that you can tell that is that the second that the execute starts coming in mid, they actually swap and run back down mid. Like they start smoking and they start flashing stuff, and it's all right afterwards. Running down banana with 2 people. Running 2 banana with 2 people. Okay, so the broken by under the op. I want to see where you guys actually send this up, because this is actually a good pick play here. I think that someone should be coming with Collide, with Collide here, to jump across for him, or like to jump around with him, so that you can bait for something here. And then the other thing, we're going to talk about Inferno for 30 seconds. or 2 seconds, really, you can bounce a smoke off right here from the protected position that Foul, I think, is standing in right now, and that smoke lands here. If you land that smoke correctly, that allows your AWPer to come down and peek into this angle. You guys would have gotten a free pick here, and Foul, the rifler, can stick his butt right here and just watch down mid. So now they know that you're on, they know for sure that you're on a broken buy. Just something to be aware of. I like Sensei's play up in halls with the solid. But here, like, this is another place where I think Foul can threaten more to make them more scared. He can be running around, he can be jumping, he can be creating noise around that smoke. And you still have flashes from Collide that haven't been used to delay. And by the way, they've known from the previous round, they still know that you guys have taken this control, because I don't recall seeing this there. Nice job. Good job. That's what you want right there. You want this discipline. And by the way, Collide should really have been the person to rotate over to you guys. I don't mind that foul. It's ideal for the optic corner. You can just drop shots. This is what you want. That right there is exactly what you wanted. You wanted Collide to take a shot and then Foul to swing. That was perfect. Great job.
Counter-terrorists win.
Or whatever, force by, half by. Let's see what we're going to do. So you can go alt. Collide called that one made banana. This dude has a fucking Winamp logo as his, What are these guys doing? Oh, that's raw. It's gonna happen sometimes. So we're going to go back to just a little bit of overall map analysis. You know that you've broken them to some degree because you've had repeat rounds where you've full killed. I don't know why there was a second op. I assume that you guys picked it up. But I also understand that you did just win an eco. So ultimately, the reality is that you may not, the alt may have been the only thing available. I didn't actually count it, didn't see. But it's just something to be aware of. Personally, I think double up is great on Inferno. I think it's actually can establish a lot of control. But the only thing that I worry about is that if the double up doesn't assert itself, then it's not scary enough, especially against 5 people rushing, because you're going to end up having 2 or 3 people here. And then, basically, if you don't have multiple people in anti-eco positions, you're going to be in a situation where someone somewhere is going to get overwhelmed. And unfortunately, if it's B, getting overwhelmed in a low buy from the tees. If it's B getting overwhelmed in a low buy from the tees, you end up in a position where you may potentially lose an op here, and then have an op in post plant position, or in like an even worse, an even better post plant position, and it's almost impossible for these guys to retake correctly if these guys lose to the rush. So there's a couple things that are happening right now. First things first, there should have been a molly like here right off the bat, and I even think sometimes, like depending on the situation, if you guys know you're in a low buy or anti-eco, I think it makes sense to open the round with one person holding back, one person all the way back in pit, and then one person listening in boiler for the alt mid rush. Especially consider how they've been playing. They've basically always come towards apps. They've always executed onto arch side and port side. Every single round they've been flashing and smoking the one side. So I think in a lot of ways there's almost no reason to come see them on a low buy, and instead you can put yourselves in positions to fight them from longer angles. I especially like the angles where you had ultimate on the balcony and foul in the site. Or I think it may have been Sensei on site. I don't remember. But I know that you guys have also been moving around your positions a lot. Just something I wanted to talk about. We're going to watch the A side of this round again. I'm stupid and I missed it. Collide knows that. And Sensei knows that they're close mid now. So I already think that this is like a little bit of too much commit from Sensei. And we know that they're fucking around on both halves of the map. These guys are just waiting to get flashed in, I believe. Yeah. So Collide hits 2. That's solid. I missed ultimate kill again. I'm so fucking stupid. I hit 4 instead of 3. So this is ultimately the problem with the double op on Inferno. You already know what happens from here. If you don't hit the early shot, then things don't connect in order to retake. Sorry, volume's up. So a problem with double up in Inferno, obviously you just felt it. It's impossible to retake with double up here, but it's, you know, it really substantially helps your hold. That's a good shot. Nice shot, Clyde. I like the aggression here. Good job. Even if it doesn't feel like it pays out that much early, aggression like that is solid. But, you know, anchors can't really die. I know it's an eco, or I know it's like a force buy, but Collide really shouldn't be dying in that position. There's almost nothing to watch now. So you really shouldn't lose this. Okay. Or you really shouldn't win this, rather. They shouldn't lose this. Sensei could have flashed you guys out, but, you know, there would have been a telegraph flash.
Terrorists win.
I think this is the round where you can control the pattern here. Should have been more than one person going towards ult. You know that they go to ult every single round. It's all good. Sorry, what the fuck? How do you get it this close? I don't even understand you people. This is part of the problem with, like, our level of Counter-Strike, man. You have no fucking business being in this round. Oh shit, whoops. That's not what I meant to do. I suck. I'm gonna miss the 2 most important rounds here. Here we go. All right. Oh no, whoops. This is the round. Fuck. I went back one round too many. My bad. Okay. Here we go. So this is like the first round that I've seen you guys throw the correct molly there. I'm not sure why you guys are swapping up positions so much, but you know, I honestly assume that it's because you're all a little uncomfortable on Inferno, or you've only practiced so much Inferno. But I think that one of the things you guys could set patterns for is nading down, because even on the rounds that nothing happens, you guys end up in a situation where these guys have utility and then they don't use it on the retake. But you guys almost always lose A. Like, so the rounds that you guys were taking more control here are really fucking good. Like, it's really good because you could bring someone here and then send the other person, like, all the way back, and then all of a sudden they're walking into an A stack because you know that they're going to walk into A anyway. You know that they're going for A anyway. By the way, if you missed it, I did, in fact, draw a penis here. Anyway, so one of the other things that I'm noticing is that basically every single round they're taking alt mid control, and you guys have never done a smoke play, which drops a smoke here, right, and gives Collide the opportunity to op into this angle. This is a super strong angle for an op, and it's really easy for the rifle to cover off because Collide can just take this shot and then dip, and you can have Sensei ready in boiler or ultimate or whoever wants to be there ready in the boiler, right? And then you can have the rifler, this guy, who's playing somewhere in the brackets. You can have him fall back to cubby if he needs to, or you can have him stay aggressive if he needs to clear anyone out who's chasing Collide back. And Sensei's in boiler, literally to swing and literally to swing and complete kills. There we go. To swing out and complete kills as Foul sets them up, because these guys are going to be coming around. Foul starts shooting him in the back. These guys turn around on their rush, and Sensei swings and kills them. Or Sensei sits here and they run by and die to his crosshair. I think that's the easiest way to make this aggressive. I mean, the other obvious one, this is an old Inferno play, but you can smoke this off, send Collide up for the peak, but it's actually kind of a T-sided peak now. It used to be CT-sided. But you can combine this peak with a flash over the top. Collide and his brackets player need to communicate when Collide is ready for that peak. But again, that still requires Sensei being like a safe, secure, like good Fallout player, either in halls, either in long hall, or in boiler, or under porch, in a way that allows Collide to dip back out after his first shot. And one of the other things, the reason that threat is important on CT side of Inferno is that, like, the first time you threaten this, it slows down their whole round. Now, every round thereafter, they have to be worried about you, like, threatening that angle. Even if you don't hit a shot, even if you just, like, wait and peek and leg someone, or just threaten the shot, like, literally take a shot and run, kind of like Collide does when he was solo deagling long A on Cobblestone. It's actually perfect because it's more about creating presence in a way that forces the T's to respond to you. If they ignore you, you might be walking behind them and shoot someone in the back, which destroys the whole round for them. So just something to think about. And that applies to every map. Specifically stuff like Inferno over past Cobble. But it really does apply to every map. I think it's a little silly to... I don't know. I might have just been timing. So Leviathan should be calling this. There's no need to peek after that stuff. You kind of just wait. This is perfect. Good job. So you know that they're inside, that they've taken over. I like that. Good job. So you have 2 players with kits, and one of them is not the player who's on the bomb. That's a little silly, but it's okay. Good job. Good retake. Nice and patient. I like that you guys from Garden wait until the player who's going to peek new box is ready, so that Foul can swing. Leviathan peeks new box correctly, isolated from spools, and after Foul engages spools is when obviously the new box player is going to peek. And that's when Leviathan comes in and completes that kill. Ideally, for the T's, Foul dies to New Box, and then New Box dies to Leviathan. Leviathan is still isolated from spools, and the guys coming through CT complete the spools kill. So the math still is correct for the retakers there. The math still outs. So that's still the right way to play that. Good job. I assume that was attacked by them. Attack that. Right. Every fucking round these guys take ult. Jesus. Bunch of fucking nerds. Let's go. Let's take it. Take the peek. Aw. NT. You guys made this demo so hard to watch by switching positions so much. So I just think it's going to be different people. This is the tough part about Inferno. That if they get like early picks like this, sometimes it's just like, do you go 3-1 or do you go 2-2? You always have to make a fucking weird decision. Nice delay. Collide's already in position here. You really shouldn't peek after this though. Nice job. Nice. That's discipline. This is what gets you this 7. NT. I don't think you needed to stay that good. I think he knew that bomb was there. Like, Ultimate's a little late to the party, but the reality is that he could have been being walked on by apartments, so I understand. I like Collide's discipline. This is good here. We have 2 people covering. I still. My only concern is that the second rifle. So my only concern with the retake is that the second rifle into sight, who went for the defuse, could actually have gone and cleared out other things while Collide watched towards top banana. Meaning there was almost no reason for Foul to be in the position he was in. He could have gone into the rifle, or sorry, into the site with the other rifle. No big deal. Still a good round. Hang on a second. What the fudge cake butthole? The fuck? Nice Collide. You guys are basically doing what they did. Oops, can't swap. It's a porch flash, right? If I remember correctly. No one moto. Nice job, nice job. Okay, right, second half. So Sensei should hear this guy running around in moto. That's ultimate. He's got to complete that kill. No problem. That happens. that just comes down to timing and hitting shots. It's all good. Nothing really to worry about there. Everyone seems to be doing fine. Buzzard's been quiet, but they went A like 1,000 times and he plays B. That should be easy and he only ate one. You should have died to the second nade here, Vyathan. Don't know what these guys are doing. Oops. Whoops.
Counter-terrorists win.
Okay. I like the assertiveness here. Not letting them take a haul for free, long haul for free. It's good. And Sensei just like aggro gets into brother. You shouldn't be picking this alone. There's no need to pick that alone, especially once you have the molly out in boiler. Because he could have gotten double dinked just like off the walk in. No, that's rough. I wonder if you guys heard this guy in the porch or not. Because I think he made a step earlier. Like real early in the round when Sensei was banging. This is good to double fake here. Double fakes are great on Inferno. You've basically isolated them into like all the way back on the site. Ooh. That's still a better job. Still a better job to get yourselves into the site properly and clear it. I think that a Moto smoke would have made that round a lot easier for you guys because you wouldn't have had to be so afraid of Moto. Moto smoke that you can throw from top mid, which I'm going to ignore this round for a little bit. You can set up, you can line up against this corner, which you did have control over because this area was smoked. You can set up right at this corner and aim, I can't remember exactly where because I didn't used to throw it on my own team. Aim at one of the railings up here, and it should land right here on this angle, holding off the Moto angle into sight and into porch. Good eye. Alright, cool. Next round. So here you want to be thinking about, like, you want to be asking yourselves the question, what's their pattern? This is really for Collide, the caller. These nades could have been a little faster here. And you could have had, like, 3 of them. There's almost no reason not to have 2 or 3. Nice job. This is something that I didn't see on your enemy's T side from Kabul, and these guys didn't really do this to you. So it's very good to get a couple rushes in here and there. Keep in mind that the previous round you went with the previous few rounds, even the pistol round, you went with a very tactical play, which is based on like map control based on nade usage, as opposed to just like a quick hit. Excuse me, I said tactical. I meant strategic. Play based on map control based on nade usage. But here you're like going for the quick hit and you're allowing people to hunt. You know that you can break the CT's economy, and to be honest, when they're up 5 rounds on their CT side, it's actually very important that you get this round. So the fact that you guys won this round on the gamble rush is very strong. I think you guys could have won it harder and faster with the HBT up top, but I don't want you guys. I don't want you to stay results oriented, outcome oriented. It's actually much better if you get focused on like what can I push further out of this situation. So that's the place where that round could have improved. Good job. You guys should know that this is the round where if you win, they're going to be on a broken bye. They could potentially be on a broken bye. I don't remember how many people they had alive in their previous round though. No, never mind. Lol. I'm wrong. Okay. 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 Let's back up. That was just presence. Whoever threw the smoke, that's just pure presence. It's just like mental awareness, being awake, and making sure that your smoke lands to cancel. And I'm not talking about like a smoke molly bug situation that you just threw at your teammate. It's okay. You can right click that situation, I think. Let's look at it again. In fact, we're gonna slow my hair. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, so again, I like the molly early, and followed by the nade. I think you guys still could have gotten like one more nade in here, which you did. Oh, perfect. Good job. So here, this is just Collide fucking up. That's just like a mechanical mistake. And then all four of you guys are willing to go through. It's actually two mollies. I think it's one of your own molly and then one of theirs. And there's no reason for this because if you look back, like really look back, we're going to actually watch this one more time. Because this goes for everybody on the team, right? If you're the second guy in line or you're the third guy in line, you're actually in the perfect position to be able to smoke if one of your, if something happens. I'm not going to say one of your teammates fucks up because, yes, that was Collide's mistake, but it's everyone else's mistake that you don't, scramble and fix it. There was other people that could have fixed it. All right, so let's go through that round again. And I'm going to pause when I come to the place where I can identify someone specifically to fix it. All right, so Collide gets dinked here, and Alt is moving to the side to like take this duel. And frankly, whoops, why the fuck won't it attach to him? I honestly hate fucking demo UI sometimes. Never mind. All right, so frankly, I think it makes perfect sense to be in the position that you guys are in. Like everyone has played their spot fine. I'm done with this fucking shit. All right, I'm just gonna come down to a quarter. Everyone has played their spot fine. The biggest problem is that Foul, Viathan, and Sensei aren't the guys like canceling this smoke. That they let Collide basically suicide, which is okay. That happens sometimes. But you guys are moving in a situation where Ultimate could have changed this whole thing. Sensei could have changed this whole thing. Foul or Viathan could have changed this whole thing by simply tossing the smoke that cancels this earlier. And instead, I don't know if you guys have watched it, but we've now seen it 3 times. You guys all lost like 60 to 90 HP to fire. Like Foul took no damage except for fire. Or something like that. I don't remember who it was. But one of the guys, like one of the last guys into the fire literally just died to nothing. And the shots that you hit afterwards are, I don't want to say that they're luck, but you gotta treat it at some point. Mistakes like this get punished like super hard, simply because you're gonna have like a really consistent rifle sitting at this spot, who's gonna just like hold mouse 1 and just mow you guys down. And you're not going to be able to kill him fast enough because that's how, CS works. That's unfortunate. NT. It happens. It happens to everybody. It happens to professional teams. What just happened to you guys happens to professional teams too. Alright, so you're going the 3-2. I like this. I like the assertiveness here. This is important. That's a good pre-fire. Whoops. Nice job. That was very individual, but it was also, this is important to do this again. Keep them honest. If they're not nading you enough, keep them honest. Good work by Collide to suss out that they've totally rotated. That's why I moved to him earlier, but I wanted to see if there's going to be any contact at B site. Who's actually gonna contact this guy? What the fuck? Oh, Fel should die to him. Oh, this guy doesn't really react fast enough. Does Fel get knifed? Oh god, please. Oh. Oh god. Oh my god. No, please tell me you don't fucking lose this round, dude. Oh, thank god. I honestly thought that guy was, Collide's root was gonna be like too late. If you guys lost that round, I would have laughed so hard. Alright, no problem. I actually think the comeback probably would have been impossible if you lost that round. Especially that way. Alright, so you see what the CTs just did, by the way? They have so much money. They could have forced, but they didn't. Because they have that 4-round lead. They know. Oh, Sensei just missed this guy. That's funny. There's not that much to watch there. You played that correctly. They should have been nading down there. They had money to nade down and they didn't. We'll talk about that later. When you're on ecos like that, and you guys actually did this to the enemy team last half. When you're on ecos like that, it almost makes no sense not to nade down. It literally makes no sense not to nade down somewhere. And you guys, I think you guys won a round like that the previous half, so something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind, as in, you should be afraid of those nades on anti-ecos on Inferno. Because they can just fucking win rounds like a motherfucker. You know, one thing I don't necessarily understand is that a different person is the wide peeker here almost every time. We're going to go back and watch that collab. And no one should ever throw a fucking smoke like this. I mean, unless you absolutely have to, but it's silly because Viathan's in the spot. Why is Sensei throwing that? I'm so fucking tilted. Nice shot. Good job. This is a good job by Viathan to come into sight and correctly take control, so that Fel can complete the plant. I do think that there was a time where Sensei was exposed, tossing his nade into Garden, and Viathan was actually just like checking first and second oranges, and he may have been untradeable at that time. But this is a good crossfire here. You guys have everything set up, and Fel's in the after plant. It's fine. This is the test, right? Let's watch this shit. Let's go. Let's go. Nice nade. Nice job. Let's go, dude. Nice job. Should have had a Zeus. Alright. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Zeus later. By the way, I think Zeuses are fucking worth it. Totally worth it. Because he would have gotten a kill there 100%. Whereas, like, it's a little bit harder in that situation. To WSP or to knife someone. It's a fucking meme. I don't think you need to do this alone. Like, you could smoke and then flash afterwards. And again, this is like a 9th time that you guys have changed like who's entering. It's a little interesting. You know, not gonna hold it against you guys, but just something to be aware of. This is a little too individual. This round, I feel, is a little cocky, but we'll talk about that afterwards. We're going to rewatch this round. Everyone is doing something alone. Fel has never been flashed at this point. Sensei has never been flashed in at this point. I think it's a little bit silly. And no wonder you guys lose this. Okay, so let's talk about this round real quick. This is the round. That round, you fix that round, you win that round, you win the game easy mode. And it's like, it's a coast to a 16-13, as opposed to what I'm sure was an effort to earn the 1614. Okay. So we're going to go up and nana together. Oops. Go up and nana together at half speed. So there's a couple things that are happening, and I'm making like quick points. So order of flashing and flashing each other. There's no reason that Foul's already in the wood spot. Sensei could have flashed Viathan through this smoke. Again, Viathan's in a position where he's like taking like the pixel peek alone, or like the corner peek alone, and he's doing it again without a flash. There's almost no reason to do this. And Foul's flash there is actually the flash that gets Viathan across to this corner instead of going alone. Like, you guys could have done this at the same time. Now, bigger picture, Sensei's already set up for, what's it called? Sensei, excuse me. Why did you move? Oh, Sensei's already set up for that CT smoke. And Foul throws his CT smoke. Excuse me, I meant spool smoke. Foul throws his CT smoke. So this execute, theoretically, this execute is better. But from here on out, Viathan is crossing this angle without having someone cross this angle at the same time. Sensei is forced to take this fight alone. I'm not even sure if he's forced. This was a choice. He took this fight alone, knowing that there was still a guy, knowing that his teammate, Foul, knew that there was one at spool still. If you guys did this one at a time, and Viathan runs this outside wall, watching towards sight, and Foul comes, Sensei or Foul, one of these guys comes across, and you look at spool together, you're in a position where this guy can't kill Viathan without getting traded, because you'd have to swing, you'd have to be able, like your second guy here would have to be able to swing out here while someone watches spools. Instead, this unfortunately turns into 3 like really individual fights where in fact you still have utility. We're going to go back over the utility real quick. This is important to go over, so this is like totally worth it. And I know that you know this in your mind, but you may not know it in the game. Like, it may not be occurring to you while you're in the round. Like, you can watch this, and you can watch other people do it, or you could watch a pro game and be like, why is this guy going alone? Why is he just doing that, you know? Why is he fucking running around like an idiot? And it looks that way from the outside, but I understand that, like, when you're in the round, ultimately, it's not, that's not how it all happens. So this is totally worth going over. Okay, so we're back at the spot where we were before. We're going to look at macro for 1 second. Alt and collide are, they're not even like acting upon anything at the time that you guys are acting here. So they could be acting upon something. They could be more aggressive here to prevent this early rotate, or like to put pressure on this site, just like we talked about on the CT side, to put pressure in places that prevent them from getting what they want for free. So Sensei comes back to set up for his CT smoke, or excuse me, his spool smoke. And then Foul is literally waiting to do his CT smoke. I like that you send the spool smoke first, knowing that it takes longer to land. Good job. But right here, this is the spot where instead of just throwing the nonsense flash, I think Sensei could be mollying while Foul flashes Viathan across the lane here, right? And then once Viathan is across the lane, this fridge motherfucker is going to be like, okay, do I peek? Do I sit still? Do I peek? Do I sit still? And if he comes out to chase this kill on Viathan, Foul and Sensei swing right out, and he's sitting in their crosshair, and boom, he's fucking dead. Easy mode. Because he can't properly see you through the smoke, and you can't properly see him through the smoke. But if he comes out any wider than he is right now, you can see him. Easy. Obviously, this is a tough setup. You're in a triangle, and you're entering the triangle from one side. I think that you really should have had one person here looking up this way while this person comes across closer. So it's like, comes across further. So the further you are from an angle, and I'll demonstrate this real quick, the further you are from an angle, the more you see behind the angle. So like here, if I'm peeking all the way out to see someone holding this angle, they have to see my whole body. They get to see my whole body. If I'm holding back on this angle, I can come out this far, and they will only see my shoulder here, where I can see, like, if they're pressed up against this fucking corner, I can see their face. And they would only see this shoulder. Like, look at how much of this corner you see from here. You don't see that much. Whereas like from the opposite side, if you're walking around this corner here and you're pressed all the way back, you get to see more of them than they can see of you. Oh fuck, right, we're on half speed. Duh. I want to see your A take setup. That's good. So Foul's up first contact. I like that he's got Ultimate with him. And I like that Ultimate is watching Boiler the whole time. This is good. So like you guys have such a good like normal base setup to open with. So I like what you're doing. I don't think you guys really have anything to be that concerned about with most of your like T opening setups here. The only thing is that you could use more nades up banana when you're doing banana takes. Like I like that. I assume Viathan already spent his nade, his HE nade, if he had an HE nade. All of this utility that's been used, like I don't mind theoretically Collide using it, but really Viathan should be using all of this while Collide just stays scoped there. Alright, we're gonna come back. This is a crucial round. If you win this round, you win the game. Almost. Because you're gonna stack an economy and they're not. The next 3-4 rounds. Alright, so we're gonna come watch this situation here. That's a good job by him to dodge out of that. To know enough to dodge out of that. But again, you know, I don't love that all three of you then move back into really individual positions. Like Sensei could take that little peek off a flash from Foul or from ult. I like the trade. So, two quick schools of thought real quick. I actually think that preempting the flash, creating that surprise is actually cool and it's strong, but I'm not totally sure that I see a reason not to wait for the flash on the guy who comes out in entries, on Foul coming out through Boiler. The reason that I say that, and it, by the way, it's all the correct, it's like a good setup. The reason that I say that is that nothing is actually protecting you from someone shooting you in the back through Sensei smoke, or someone pushing Sensei smoke. Even though, like, ultimately Sensei comes up behind you guys too, after Ultimate completes the kill, I still think it's like, it's an open possibility that he's going to be coming up and he's going to be watching one direction, and you guys are both like going to take two separated duels at the same time. And if you swing after the smoke, if you swing after the flash, if you both swing after the flash, I think you have a higher potential of success there, especially against this level of play. You'll see at professional levels of play that there are people who intentionally preempt smokes and preempt mollies and flashes, and it's all because of the counter dynamic of like, if I'm faster than they expect me to be, we just have like a higher chance of success. So Sensei, I'm pretty sure Sensei wins this for you guys. Yeah, that was just great movement, great positioning, to be in a position. It really wasn't great movement. It was great positioning specifically to be in a position where you're baiting someone out for your teammate to have control from porch. Good job. From truck side. This one's getting long. It's already been an hour. Sorry. This is a nade and molly round. Good job, Vitha. You should have been naded down a little bit, though. I don't know why they don't need you, but they don't. Nice. Nice. So this basically turns into a little bit of individual success here. Yeah. Good job. Collide just saved Leviathan by killing somebody. Memes. Alright. Nice. I like the push. I like the aggression here. This is a critical round where the CTs needed a molly. You drunk fucks. I like. Good job, by the way, playing anti there. I think it was foul. I missed a little bit of this round, didn't I? Right. I'm actually just going to rewind now instead of watching out. Because if you break them here, you basically auto win. Because the next round will be like a anti-force. Okay, so Foul is the one who didn't play anti. Sensei is the one who played correctly. You still died to that. That's silly. I like that Collide is fast on the comeback from mid. It's good. So Leviathan made an individual play here over Garden to survive and take a kill. It's really strong by him. That guy choked really hard. Nice shot, Python. Yeah, there's no way that you lose this. That you can lose this even. Except for that, apparently. Incredible meme. Alright. What are they doing? Doing 3 towards B. They're afraid of that rush. This is a good call not to rush here. I like that you're careful after the smoke. You know that they can take control off this. Those are really good. It may not look like it right now, but those are very smart smoke bangs. That's the next, like, that's layering on the next level of play there. Although, Collide shouldn't be fucking reload peeking like that. Whatever. And you shouldn't be doing this alone either. There's almost no point here. Nice shot. You know, it's actually funny. Collide's got maybe ultimate or maybe even Foul. Foul could put Collide in a position to win by throwing those the pit flashes here. Instead, this guy stays alive. Not to good game. So, real quick, the guy on balcony kills nobody when he should have at least killed the second guy out. Whenever an AWPer comes out first, I do exactly what this guy did. It's kind of unfortunate for him that he doesn't get the kill on Foul. Just because if he did, he probably would have won them the round. Like, because it would have been easy for him to kill Foul, and then Collide is, like, opping towards Moto, so it's much easier for him to get shot in the back. Like, that's a much harder peak to take. great round regardless. Good job. I don't think that you have anything to be that worried about. Obviously, the previous 2 or 3 rounds where you make the aggressive B play followed by an aggressive A play, like I think you're setting yourselves up for confident executes correctly, and it doesn't seem like you guys have any problems with anyone hesitating on the hit, which is that's actually a big deal. Like, that's the right mix that you need to move forward.